Kids and cadets, welcome back to Tommy Time. What we have here is a Toro Recycler Smart Stow, the 725 engine. This happens to be model number 20339 on the Toro. And I'm getting all tangled up here. I can tell you that this is a 2020, so it's not very old. Customer dropped this off, wanted me to change out the drive cable. He said it broke, and up here at the Z-bend, you could see that broke off there on the tip, so we're going to do that right now. He called me during the week and said, can I drop it off? And he kind of wanted turned around in one day, something about leaving town. I said I had a lot of Turo cables in stock. If not, I was going to steal one off of another machine to get them on the road again, and that's what I had to do. I did not have any of these 119-2379s in stock, so I told him I'd put a used one on if I could not come up with one. So we're going to do that. So I kind of rectified this machine. A lady's coming out for no bag for 150, and it has the same size cable. This is a 20339 as well. And this is a 2016. So this is a little older model with some surface rust. This gentleman took care of this one. I ended up just sharpening the blade, went through all four wheels, greased up the wheels. One of them was dragging. So I'll show you how to do this job. You want to turn the unit over, carburetor on the high side, and what you'll find is a little trap door that you'll have to remove, or it'll remove itself, actually, something like that. You remove 210s here. This comes down because it actually bolts up to this top cover. So you'll have 4 10mm. These two here are up here in the front, one there and one there. So this is on the top side. The two tops with the bushing, those go on this belt cover. So once you remove this and the two down below, this top piece comes off, exposing your cable. I've already started this project. So the 210s are under here. Once those 4 are off, you'll have this. So you'll need a needle nose to pinch the cable here, and then up here you'll need a 10mm, 11 right here. So remove this 11. I already have it loose. Remove the 11. Pull the bolt through and then pull your cable down. And it's thin enough to pull through the top, so that's off. Don't lose your nut and washer. Let me put this back on here temporarily. I had already fed it through the holder here, and now down here, this is what you're going to do. So the spring here actually is hooked up to the frame right there. In order to get that out, what you do is pull out slack from the line and then push the spring downward into this little cavity. Feed the end of the spring up and then out. So now this is loose. I'm going to take my needle nose, twist the cable so I can squeeze the tabs, and there's a slit right here in the holder. You can just slide the cable out like so. Okay, so this broken one's out of the way. Let's put the new cable in place. I oiled this one up already. So we're going to start down here at the bottom. What I'm going to do is take the spring, face the spring down, give myself some slack here on the cable, put the end of the spring through the hole in the body, like so, slide my cable through the slit in the bracket, and then go ahead and pull the plastic tabs through until they click. Now that's in place. I'm going to come up here and feed the cable through my holder here before I attach it to the bail bar. So this Z-bend's going to come through like that, so it's not dragging on the ground. Come back up here, remove the nut again in my washer. Feed the narrowest part of the cable itself, not the conduit, through the slit here. Push my bolt back through. Okay, I'm going to get this thing started. I'm going to feed the metal conduit through the hole like so. So I got a little bit of meat through here. Go ahead and put my washer and 11 back into place. Now I'm going to fish the Z-bend here into the bail bar. And what I do to make that easy for myself is come over here to this end, pull out the bail bar. It's just spring loaded. Pull back on the bail bar and go ahead and fish my Z-bend through. There should be enough slack. Fish my Z-bend through. Now come back up here and put my bail bar back in the hole. When you remove the bail bar and let it hang, it gives you a little extra slack to get the cable on. So let's adjust tension roughly on this thing. What I do is pull the cable down towards the engine until I have a little bit of slack here in the cable. Not that it's stretched out tight and not that it's hanging, just a little bit of looseness there. And then tighten up my 11, and this thing should engage now about halfway when you pull up on the bail bar. Let me get my 11, which I had earlier. This is a real quick and easy change out on this thing. It doesn't take very long. Okay, looking for my 11. I had it here earlier. I just might have to go with something else. Some channel locks maybe, which I hate to do. Right tool for the wrong job. No, I don't have my 11. So I'm just going to use some channel locks real quick. Just tighten this thing down. Try not to strip it. I could probably come up with an 11, but I don't want to waste your time. Remember, as a kid working on bicycles, all I had was channel locks, a hammer, and something else, real basic tools. I remember taking wheel nuts off all the time with channel locks. Since I've graduated Shade Tree Mechanic School, I have a better selection now of hand tools. Okay, so here we are. That's looking good enough. So let me turn this thing over on its side. We'll put the plastics back on. I got my impact. Okay. So what I'm going to do is kind of line up this top piece, put it into place, kind of eyeball it. And then my two smaller tents here without the bushing, I'm going to use those. So I'm going to get this started up near the gearbox. Okay. Now this piece is going to go on. This is the belt guard. So put this into place. This is where the two long screws go with the bushings, because they have to hold this bottom piece of plastic as well. This more or less keeps any debris from getting tangled up here in the blade and the pulley. Okay, so that's on. Grab my DeWalt, tighten this up. So I got my son helping me today. We took his bike to the Honda Shadow Spirit. Took it to a local shop for some tires. And then we picked up a Honda lawnmower on the way home. A friend of a friend was getting rid of this thing, so I think I'll do a video on that. Let me loosen these two up here in the front. I'm cockeyed. Something's not lining up. Okay. That's why you should get everything started first before you tighten down one side versus the other. This shouldn't be this difficult. Okay, let's start over. Get these two started again. Sometimes it's the easy stuff is the most difficult. Okay, I think we're lined up now. I see daylight. Okay, now we're cooking with fire. Like I said, I just touched up the blade, went ahead and we just did the cable. Okay, the belt was off track, but now it's not. Okay, here the mailman's out front. Like I said, greased up the four wheels. One was really rusty and dragging. I think he'll see a difference with how this thing moves. So that was it, easy peasy on changing the drive cable on a 20339. 20339. This is a 2020. And the cable number 1192379, I believe, is what this thing is. I'll leave it down below. I'll check the model number and make sure the 2379 is what we want. Anyway, I'll call this gentleman. He seems to be hot to trot to do this job. He said machine's been dependable. The only thing that he had happen was this filler cap fell off of the keeper. It bounced to the front of the machine when he was mowing. It went under the deck and he ended up chopping it into many pieces. So he had to pick this up at a local mower shop. He said Home Depot said 3. When he researched it online, he got there was no caps. The local Toro lawn equipment repair shop said, "Oh, you're lucky. That's the last cap we had. We're not getting any more." So I don't know what that was all about. But let me try to fix him up here so he doesn't lose this cap. Get this O-ring to seal here on the cap top. Okay, now we're cooking. So I'll put the air filter and the cover back on this. It was a new filter, and this thing will be ready to rock and roll. I'll tell him to come get it. So I'm thinking 40 to 50 bucks for the blade sharpening and the repair here. Maybe 40 since it was a used cable. I think 40 is a reasonable price. I haven't spent much time on it other than greasing the four wheels. I appreciate you coming out looking at this 7.25 Toro Recycler Smart Stow. We've got the twins here, an older one and the newer big brother. Anyway, as always, thanks for coming out. Please tip your waitress and wait staff. They're doing an awesome job. They appreciate your tips. Cameraman's on the brink of disaster, but we'll make it through. Come back and see me. Thanks. Thank you very much.